Night on Bald Mountain. It's not just a classical composition. It's a musical story of a witch's Sabbath, where dark forces gather under the cover of night. Picture this, a desolate mountaintop where witches and demons convene, celebrating their unholy rites. The music captures their profane revelry like a dark, menacing beast of symphonic sound that seems to stalk its listener like some infernal hound of hell. But there's so much more than that. There's an even darker side to this work. The original composer might not have been writing about fiction at all, but about real mountains known to be inhabited by real witches and demons. And it would seem he even tried to channel the power of these witches and demons by composing his work on the very night that they were said to meet. Could this work be forged from black magic? Let's find out. Modest Mussorgsky, now a towering figure in Russian music, was the creator of this wild masterpiece. Born in 1839, he was known for his bold and innovative compositions. Sources verify that he wrote Night on Bald Mountain in his sister's isolated country cottage on the very night of the witch's Sabbath, which he was composing about. Perhaps channeling the dark and supernatural energies he was writing about. Could that just be a coincidence? That very night, not any other. Not likely. Was he trying to channel their magic, their power, like a muse, though a dark one, brimming with evil energies, pouring their magic into his work? His work was so radical, so intense, that it was considered too wild for Russia at the time. Rimsky-Korsakov took off some of the sharp edges from the work. But was it so wild and sharp because the dark forces who actually wrote it, whispering it to Mussorgsky, are themselves wild and sharp? Indeed, some say the inspiration for this piece might have come from otherworldly sources. Could spirits and witches have whispered their secrets into Mussorgsky's ears, knowing his secret desire to channel them, and obliging in dramatic fashion, guiding his pen and playing their notes into his head as he crafted this nightmarish vision? It depends. Were the witches he wrote about ever really real? Well, Mussorgsky based his macabre vision upon a story written by Nikolai Gogol called St. John's Eve. It told the tale of a group of witches who met on the infamous Lysa Gora, or Bald Mountain, near to the city of Kiev, in what is now Ukraine. In the story, St. John manages to catch a secret glimpse of the witches gathering on Bald Mountain. The witches have a party that lasts all night, involving all the worst and most obscene indulgences imaginable, with both witches and summoned demons partaking. When the sun finally rises with its purifying rays, the witches, demons, and the whole profane throng vanish. So, given this was a thrilling and sensational tale, clearly, rich with lurid details of debauchery and terrifying imagery, worthy even of a Hollywood blockbuster, does that mean there's just nothing to the myth and magic of Night on Bald Mountain? And so, Mussorgsky couldn't possibly have channeled their magic? Turns out, not at all. It was a very real legend, as history reveals, if you look deeply enough into the folklore. It turns out Gogol himself was repeating a very old legend from the region. The little-known book of folkloric history called Kiev, Now and Before, by M. Zacharchenko, written in 1888, very clearly states that this mountain was a hotspot for pagan rites back into the mists of history. And of course, with Christianization of Russia and Ukraine, later became a hotspot for witchcraft. The author gleaned this all-important information by talking to locals themselves before 1888. You can't get more direct from the horse's mouth than that. Verifying absolutely that Bald Mountain was known for its witches, and so though he added a few fictionalized things, just as any writer would, out of consideration, to entertain his reader. It turns out Gogol knew these legends too, these very real legends. Just like in the story, Mussorgsky wrote his dark and spine-chilling work on St. John's Eve, the witches' night of revelry. A clear message to them, perhaps. Influence me, be my muse, write this composition for me, using all your magic and the dark power of the spirits you commune with. Or at least, it can be easily imagined this way. Especially now that we know these were real people, real monsters, real magical powers he was writing about, and not mere fiction. The work itself is a whirlwind of fury and darkness, a powerful depiction of a night where the veil between the living and the dead is lifted. Mussorgsky's music, full of intense driving rhythms and haunting melodies, paints a vivid picture of chaos and dread. Even today, it stands as a testament to his extraordinary ability to convey the supernatural. Ask yourself, could a man really write this without a little assistance? So, next time you hear those haunting strains, remember, you're not just listening to music. You may be under a bona fide spell, cast one dark night of the Witch's Sabbath on June 23rd, 1867. A spell which, despite the passage of so many years, still has the power to transport you to Bald Mountain on that dark, unholy night that was, and pour its terror into your ears.
As the hound dog entered the dimly lit library, he sensed an aura of mystery surrounding the ancient scrolls. The dusty shelves towered above him as he sniffed his way through the labyrinth of books. Suddenly, he picked up a scent and followed it to a secluded corner. With bated breath, he approached the shelf and pawed at the book, revealing the hidden scroll. As he rolled it out, he knew he had discovered a treasure worth protecting at all costs.